So now we're gonna take it out of the pan. See how easily it comes out because we greased the pan and then did the whole flour thing. So anyways, now we're gonna cut it. You see how soft? Look at the softness. It's so moist.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड हेलो एवरीवन। आज पाउंड केक बना रही हूँ, जिसके लिए मैंने सबसे पहले तो ये मैदा जो है ना, यानी कि ऑल पर्पस फ्लावर, ये 1 कप है और ये हाफ कप, यानी कि 1.5 कप इसके लिए ले लेंगे और इसके अंदर मैं डालूंगी। ठीक है, डायरेक्ट बाउल में नहीं डालेंगे। सही है, सारी चीजें जितनी भी है ना हमारी केक के लिए, हम उसके अंदर पहले इसके अंदर ना सारी चीजें अपनी डालेंगे और फिर इसको सिफ्ट करेंगे। अच्छा, 1 टीस्पून सॉल्ट यानी कि नमक 1 टीस्पून चला गया, हाफ टीस्पून बेकिंग पाउडर और इसको सिफ्ट करेंगे इस तरह करके अच्छी तरह, यानी कि जो हमारी जैसे ये इस तरह बनी हुई ना गुठलियां या फिट ना, जो भी आप कहते हैं इसको, ये देखें इस तरह सिफ्ट करने के बाद ये विस्क के साथ इस तरह मैं इसको अच्छी तरह मिक्स कर लें।
ये 2 स्टिक्स ऑफ बटर ली हैं और ये मैं साइड पे रख दूंगी टू ग्रीस द पैन। यूजुअली प्रेफर्ड होता है रूम टेम्परेचर बटर, लेकिन क्योंकि ठंड है तो रूम टेम्परेचर बहुत सख्त था, इसलिए हमने माइक्रोवेव किया तो थोड़ा सॉफ्ट हो गया, विच इज़ नॉट अ बिग डील। अवन को 350 पे प्री हीट करेंगे। जब आप प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो केक का बैटर तो प्री हीट पे लगा रहे, इन द मीन टाइम हम अपना काम करेंगे। अब ये बटर को we'll mix it until it's soft. We can do it slower कि ज़्यादा mess ना मचे, just so that it doesn't get messy. And we'll keep whisking it until it gets soft. And when you have something like this, it's kind of like whipped, then we'll add 4 eggs. And so as you can see, this is getting softer, and now we'll add in sugar. I don't like too sweet, so we'll only put 3/4, but if you're a sweet person, put 1 cup of sugar. So now we'll add in the sugar. This is not a full cup like I mentioned before. You can add it to taste. If you like it sweet, then I would put a full cup. If you're not a very sweet person, then I would put like 3/4 of a cup. And we're just gonna keep whisking it on the slowest one, just because we don't want it to get too messy. And you'll see that it's gonna start sticking to the side, so we'll just start scraping it off the sides like so. We'll go back to whisking it. If I haven't mentioned it before, I am using unsalted butter, just because with baking it's always better to use unsalted rather than salted. So now we're gonna start adding eggs, just so that when you have this kind of a mixture, when you know the sugar and butter are mixed, doesn't have to be perfect, but we'll start adding the eggs one by one. Mix them like so. And one by one add all the eggs. Okay, so I've added all the eggs and have started mixing them. As you can see, there's like basically egg soup in the middle, and I have to scrape it off the side because there are all this butter mixtures all stuck to the side. So just make sure you keep taking the sides, cleaning the side. And we'll just clean this in a little bit. And now we're just going to keep whisking it and whisking it. As you can see, it's starting to come together. You will still see little granules of butter. It's gonna look questionable, but don't worry about it, that's normal. Once you see that it's all coming together and mixing really nicely. Next we're gonna, now that it's all mixed up, next thing we're gonna add is yogurt, plain yogurt. You can also add sour cream, but I don't have that at the moment, so I'm gonna just add yogurt. The reason we're adding yogurt is because it adds moisture and a hint of like tanginess to the cake, which is really nice. If you don't like that, then you don't have to put it, but it kind of balances the sweetness. And then we'll just mix. Next we're gonna add vanilla essence. I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Usually you would put at least 2 teaspoons, but I'm running out at the moment, so I put 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Like I said before, I would suggest put at least 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence, just because it gives you that really good smell, and obviously just, you know, is a necessary component in baking, especially that you see the mixture is pretty much mixed up. I will be adding the flour at this point. Just dump it all in there. Make sure everything is in there. And then we'll just give it a mix. So now we just need to make sure everything, the mixture and the flour is combined. And we'll do that with the whisk as much as we can do it. First we'll combine the mixture with the flour. And then we'll just take the spatula and make sure all the sides just get in there. And you can also just do this with the spatula. You don't really need to use the whisk. But I'm going to whisk a little bit more, and then I'll just mix it up with the spatula. So I've been whisking it, and you can see I've got this really like nice smooth texture. The rest, obviously you can see there's like flour and everything stuck on the sides. I think the whisk is done, and I'll just be mixing the rest up with the spatula, like so. Once you have this consistency, as you can see, the mixture and the flour, everything is combined. Now we're gonna grease the pan, and we're gonna dump it in the pan, and I will show you that in a bit. So remember, I saved these papers, leftover butter wrappers, for the pan. So this is just like you could say a hack. There's like so much butter left over in the wrappers that before throwing them out, you can just grease the pan, and look, like the whole pan is greased up. Before we put in the cake mixture, I'm just gonna dust the pan with flour. So what that does is that it would not let the cake stick with the pan, and we can easily take it out in a dish. You could also use like parchment paper and stuff like that, but I mean, whatever's easier for you. I just like this because it's easier, and it also comes in handy if you don't have parchment paper. If you do, that's great too, but I like this one better because even with parchment paper, I've seen like sometimes it gets hard. We just want to make sure we get all the sides, like so. And then there definitely will be, as you can see, like a lot of flour left over. But you can just like dust it off like that, because we want to make sure there's not any flour left over in the pan, because that's just gonna mess with the cake and we don't want that. So we just want to make sure like the excess, we take the excess out. See? Like that. Alright, so now we're gonna be putting in the mixture for the cake in the pan. Just make sure it goes right in. It will be a little thick, so just be a little challenging to put it in there, but you just with the spatula make sure that it's all leveled out like that. I'm gonna add in a little bit more, but we're not gonna obviously fill it up because we also want to give the cake space to expand. Otherwise, we don't want it to overflow, you know? That's just gonna ruin the cake. I'm just putting in a little bit more with the spatula. So, really just eyeball it, I guess. I would give, like, I would fill, I want to say 3/4 of the pan and leave a quarter out like that. So the quarter needs for the cake to expand, so we're gonna leave that. I have leftover, which I can just put in later on or in a different pan, but for now we're gonna put this in the oven for 30 minutes on 350 degrees. Now you can see that the cake is this beautiful golden brown. So we're gonna take it out. So if you're unsure if the cake is cooked from inside, just put a toothpick in. See how it comes out clean? That means it's perfectly cooked. So we're gonna leave it on the counter for like 5-10 minutes. As it cools down, then I'll take it out. Okay, so now we're gonna take it out of the pan. See how easily it comes out because we greased the pan and then, you know, did the whole flour thing. So anyways, now we're gonna cut it. Let's see how it looks from the inside. You see how soft? Look at the softness. It's so moist. Look at that. It should be that. And it's not dry. You can tell. So that's the whole recipe of a pound cake, and it's very, very simple. And if you like today's video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. Thank you.